Hello, good afternoon, followers of my discourses, the various evolution of my work. Where we're right now, where we're looking at images. We're in Davis Square, Somerville, Barrio Obrero, working class neighborhood. Or after the last, I would appreciate you people go back and look at my last Aekyads video because I'm obsessed with chronology, And when I came out of my my hermitages in Vermont and upstate New York, etc., and I came down to Boston. And first I was working out of the garage of my mother's house, making sand molds, making Aekyads, and making sand molds I was taking to the foundry, And now here we are, we're taking a step further, which is really cool. We're in the street, and I got myself a studio in a street front. This typical working class neighborhoods with the stores, street front stores, and I got myself. Please excuse me because some words don't come to my mind, but storefront, storefront. And I got myself, and I had a studio there where I'm making my molds. Now I'm making my molds there. And I'm going to take them to the foundry. The foundry they respect me. I always respect them. But they know when I take molds there, they're not going to explode, So sooner or later, we're going to get to the foundry, and we're going to cast some detail, some Aekyads, Some solid Aekyads, Because the last video in this line, were Aekyads, the last Aekyad, And now forget what I did with my great friend. Shout out to Francesco Montanari and Tados, because that's another period further advanced. But now we're going back to my roots here when I came back from the Hermitage, etc., etc. And I want to right now do a shout out to my Carolyn Swartz, who was my girlfriend in this period, and also the period of the last Aekyads. My girlfriend, she was studying at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In the film section, where the director was Ricky Leacock. I don't know how much you people know about Cineverite, but anyway, I was privileged that my girlfriend was studying, and she picked up a camera and photographed and filmed my actions, Film. This is more of a documentation work of hers, which are here in her period in the last one. But also you have to remember, let's not forget, if you look, when you finish the video, click on the canal and then click on videos and look for Heavy Metal on Park Avenue, because this is a film that Carolyn directed, etc. It's a wonderful film, and it's there in the YouTube, etc. Also, there's a Vimeo version, which is a better quality images. But anyway, if you're really obsessed, or anyone's really obsessed with trying to find that, get to her Vimeo thing, because it's like that. But in any case, I must say this. I'm ab-libbing now. I'm ab-leading now because I'm looking at the video and I want to talk and keep it going because we have some minutes to deal with. And I want to get to the end because I'm an honest. Estoy más claro que el agua. You try, if you want to translate some of the words I say, I just want to be honest, and etc. But I'm looking at these images. I'm looking at myself. I'm 77 years old now. I'm looking at myself 44. I don't know how many years ago this was, and I'm looking at the physical energy that I had, and I that was so important to me. I was lucky. That I had this physical strength because my mind was dictating me what to do, and I had to do it, and I had the physical energy to do it, and also the economical concept, because let's not kid ourselves. I'm an artist. I was selling my works, I was getting money, and I was keep putting into my work, and I could never get enough work done. That was my obsession, to get work done, to do exhibits, and to keep on keeping on. And that's the reality of my situation. And now I'm looking at this. I had a Chevette. Okay, this Chevette was a good. This is a type of car I even like now. It doesn't matter how much money I had right now, how much money now. I just love these cars. Humilde, humble, 4-door with a door in the back, and that's what do you call it? Minus. There's a name for these type of cars that you can transport. It doesn't matter how much I have. I'm not interested in flexing on anything commercial. I'm just interested in producing art and get my ideas out there. No, but this is what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at this video, okay? So this is a historic video. I'm doing this message right now in 2024, but at the same time, people, it's like I'm trying to go back and understand. I'm looking myself, moving these molds of Aekyads, the first period of Aekyads. And the first period of Aekyads, which were solid cast bronze Aekyads, which at first I would do, they come from the drawings, the pre-Aekyatic drawings, which were paintings. And then when I decided to unify the forms on the frontal plane and give them a thickness to put them in 3 dimensions, and then they were born the Aekyads, okay? And so this is the history, and this is all well documented, etc. But in any case, here we're looking at now. What have I got here now? I've conquistado. I've conquered the respect of these workers. And it's a mutual respect. And now, when I bring my molds in, I molds into the foundry. They know they don't have to worry about they're going to explode, because we've been here with the Aekyads, which were in the last video in this line, and now we're dealing with the first Aekyads, my first Aekyads, okay? And so I say, what do we have new now? Okay, what we have new now is before in the Aekyads, I was working in the basement of my mother, where I was making my molds and making my Aekyads, and now what I'm doing now, I have a studio, whatever, a storefront, a typical storefront in a working class neighborhood of Somerville, Davis Square. And I'm working there, and I have this studio. I'm making my molds. No, later there was an evolution from this. Everything is really cool. It's wonderful, and I think I love the history. I'm so appreciative of Carolyn, who found these Super 8 videos or whatever they were, and she sent them to Fulvio in Madrid, who digitalized them, and I can look at them, and I can go back and think about and remember these moments, because I know my dedication to my work, etc., etc., etc. And in any case, getting back to this, right now we're in a situation where I have my studio. It's the beginning of my studio in Davis Square, Somerville, where I was making, I brought my mold machines, and you know about that because you've listened to my last Aekyad video, of course, so I don't have to repeat any histories. And now I'm bringing my molds here, and in the foundry here, we have developed a mutual respect, etc. I bring my molds, they pour them, I control the heat. They understand the heat that I need to do them and everything. I must tell you sincerely, because before I came from my heritage in South Stratford, Vermont. I was casting the first of these Aekyads, etc. And casting works, and I remember in Aekyads, there was one Aekyad I did, and I didn't have enough bronze in the crucible. I melted it. That was the only time in my history where I failed a casting. And this was me, because you have to understand, I was casting bronze first in Arkville, New York, Aekyads, a pre-Aekyads, and then when I got to South Stratford, Vermont, I was doing the Aekyads, which was a much bigger quantities of weight of bronze, etc. And I made one of these Aekyads, one of these solid cast Aekyads, and I remember that when I filled it, I didn't have enough bronze. It was the only time that I failed my in a casting, okay, from me, okay. And so I don't want to. How can I say it? That I know my work, okay. And so what I do is I prepare perfect molds and I take them to foundries. And now we're in. Okay, we're in the United States. Okay, the first period of my new studio in Somerville in Davis Square, where later I eventually started fabricating sheet bronze, sheet steel, Aekyads, and then I went on to Everett, to Duncan Galvanizing, where they gave me a space, and I started building these 3-4 meter high Aekyads. But that's future history. Let's get back to this. So in any case, I wish I had some videos of when this work was finished in me working in my studio, because this bronze is, after the casting of the bronze, there's a lot of work of refinishing, no? And with files and angle grinders, etc., and passing with what would you call paper, papel de lija, sandpaper, a lot of hand work to get them to the perfect situation. And then the last thing I would do would be I would sandblast them, and then I would put the patina. I would put chemicals to get the color I wanted, which is always black. My obsession with black as a color, because black, what can we say? Black is that shows that my idea was to show the most weight for the objects that my sculptures. I want to give them the most visual weight. I want them to weigh the most possible. So the black, and then later on, okay, we're talking at that moment. That's what I would talk about, the weight, the visual weight. Now, when I talk about this idea, I talk about implosion. I talk about black spaces in electromagnetic structures, and breaking into the zone of ether to break electromagnetic structures, to reconstruct them. But that way of thinking came later, okay? But it maybe was intrinsic in this period, okay? So you have this young sculptor, whatever you want to call me, but also we could deal with reincarnation. Am I a young sculptor? When I was very young, I had these dreams and these interpretations when I would talk to myself. And I had these interpretations of life that seemed very like an old person. So I don't know how many years I have. I will say that I was a very, very old person, and I've lived so many lives, and now I'm in a young. Well, in this video, where I'm in a young physical state, but I think I've lived so many years, and I have so much weight on my history that I live it, and I just have to take advantage of it. But I can't really communicate with people. But what I feel is my last lives, if I did have last lives. But I believe so. My father died when I was very young, and I would talk to him when I would go to sleep at night. I would pray, and I would talk to my father, and he would give me advice, and I felt that was my reality. And then after some years, it stopped happening this, and I had to, what we say is tirar mi carro. I had to pull I had to push my carro. I had to deal with what I had to deal with. I had to take everything in my hands and push my future, because there was nothing else. I was just a thing. And it's nothing a problem. It's not a problem. I'm not crying, please. I'm just dealing with what I'm telling you. You have what I have here. If these works are reflections or like I talk nowadays, which is so. It's my trip nowadays. I talk about Aekyads work. I say it's my Aekyads work because I've lost control. It's like I used to be a sculptor. Now I'm a robot. I'm a robot for my central nervous system, and these messages come to me from my central nervous system. They come right down to my body, right down to my arm, right down to my pencil, and right down to the paper. And I draw every single day, 50 by 70 centimeters paper, and I draw them out in a trance, and then I fill them, after the trance is over, I fill them with paint, and they come. So they're more, I call them Aekyads drawings, but they're probably Aekyads, they're actually paintings, no, on paper, 50 by 70 centimeters. But that's a reality. That's what is so exciting for me. I must say that to you. I must share with you people what really is going on in my mind now. Where I go to my mind when Fulvio got these old videos, and he showed me. He said some Aekyads. Some works with some first Aekyads period work. I said, Mamma Mia, because that's where I'm at now. Okay, I stopped my Aekyads work in 1981. Okay, and then I came back in 2019 to do please don't interpret my emotions and what I'm trying to talk about, because all the work I did between 1981 and 2019 are all my children. I'm all my children. I love them equally. All the periods of Phoenician works, different periods of Phoenician works, intervalism, etc. They're all my children. Please, nothing is more important than anything. Like I always talk about linear movement, okay? Everything has its importance, but I got back into it. And right now it's been pushing me, and it's been my obsession for years, and that's what I'm at now. Okay, I'm now at about 181 Aekyads drawings. I'm doing Aekyads drawings. I'm doing designs for Aekyads. I'm doing all different formations of Aekyads work, etc. right now, but it's all under wraps. It's all secret, but let's get back to the video, okay? I have to keep ad-libbing because there's lots more minutes here. And I see myself moving these first period of Aekyads, which were like automatic drawings, responses. It had something to do with expressionismo, no? Because I would draw these things out, etc., and then I would transfer them to styrofoam, and I would make the molds, and then I would cast them, and I would take them back to my studio. It's just like, I love all this history. Well, it's my history for whatever it is, okay? And now what happened is when I got back into it in 2019, making Aekyads again, it's like, what was I thinking? Mamma mia, what's going on? It was like there was so much work to do. I wish I could divide myself into 6 or 7 people and fabricate and work on all the different histories. Like I said, all my periods are all my children, okay? The Phoenician, intervalism, what some people call New Expressionism, all these works I could do, I could continually produce in all of them. But I can't do it. I'm just one person, and I'm doing this. And this is what it is. It is what it is, and it will be what it will be. But there's no question that we have a tremendous production of work. And like I say, all my new Aekyads work, I haven't stopped working. This is a romantic. We're all enjoying these old videos. It's really fun. But some people say, "Oh, you que guapo fuera. Oh, you were super strong. You were handsome." Oh, that's like they think my life is over because I'm sending out these videos. This is bullshit. No, these are things because they've heard, and it's fun to look at it, to know my history. But I'm alive and kicking, and I'm not stopping for anything. So just enjoy what we're talking about, and what we're seeing. Okay, it's work, it's labor, it's work. Which I love, my labor and work. I had no choice. I had no choice. I had to produce his work. It wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even trying to look for sponsor of anyone that could support, because I come from I went to a very important art school, etc., and blah, 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 blah. And a lot of my compañeros, all my colleagues, they, when they graduated, whatever, they did their work, etc., the sculptors, some of them had, very wealthy parents, etc., they could make their designs and fabricate their works and have them built, which is wonderful, because at the end of the day, please don't think that the fact that I had to do this myself is more important. The most important thing is that I did the work. I did it. I produced it. I made it. Not that I did it, that I got the work out there. That's important. It doesn't matter if I had people financing me and I was making models and they were casting or fabricating my works in foundries and fabrication of sculptures, etc., then it would be fine. It doesn't matter. The final work is important. It's not the work that you see here that I'm sweating and doing this. I did it because I had no other choice. I had to get the work out. I was obsessed. I was controlled by all the powers, just like I am now with my Aekyads drawings. I've now become a robot of my central nervous system. I developed this. I invent aesthetics. I invented Aekyadism, and never forget it. Aekyadism is a language. Read it, okay? Aekyadism is a language. Read it, okay? Okay, read it. That's my message to the world. With Fulvio, who's got the material, the old Super 8 videos, etc., and he's digitalizing them, etc. No, it's cool. He told me, when he told me about the Aekyads, I got very excited. I didn't know exactly. He didn't even know until he starts opening them up and looking what you have in this. This is Pandora's box, which is magic, for us anyway. And it's lots of fun. In any case, the Aekyad, my last Aekyad, as I mentioned, I don't want to be a pesao. I keep repeating it, but please watch that. It's a good premise and preparation to see this video. And but then again, when Fulvio told me, look, I have an Aekyad, an early bronze Aekyad video, film concept, etc. That came from Carolyn from the 70s. I said, wow, okay, great. And I got very excited, I must admit it to me, because I'm a little bit of a intellectually mischievous, inquieto, intellectual, de me work, and it's I'm heavily into the what's going on in my mind right now. I'm telling you, it's like the Aekyadism. That's what I'm doing now. Okay, so since 2019, I've been dedicated my work to Aekyadism, to all forms, and I think I made a mistake. I was listening to the first part of my soundtrack here, and I mentioned something about Aekyadic drawings. There are lots of work. There are Aekyadic paintings. There are Aekyad sculptures, 30 centimeters high. There's 1 meter high. There's 3 meters high. There are Aekyadic paintings, 2.5 by 2, etc., meters, and small ones. There's all kinds of Aekyadic wall works. There's all kinds of Aekyadic work, okay? Just the one element I mentioned, and I think I made a mistake, but we're going to leave it. I'm not going to correct it. We're not going to correct. We're just talking about Aekyadic, what I call Aekyadic drawings. What I mentioned this before, I talked how I get into a trance. They're 50 by 70 centimeters, and I start drawing, and then once the drawing is done, blah, 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 I fill in the drawing with the black paint, which in essence, it's the work becomes an Aekyadic product. More of an Aekyadic painting than drawing, but of course, underneath everything there's drawing. I said something, I don't know how many said, but this is one of my activities daily. I usually do one a day or one every day and a half, and I'm up to 807, 815, I don't know, over 800 of these drawings. And like I say, they're calcos. I love this word. It's like carbon copy in Spanish, calco. It's like I'm like an idiot. I'm like I say, I'm a robot. I was a sculptor. Of course, I'm still a sculptor. Let's not kid ourselves. I'll go down to the last moment, the last line. I'm a sculptor. No, but please, let's just get into this rollo, into my way of playing with concepts of who the hell I am. I say, I become a robot from my central nervous system. And doing calcos. My work is doing calcos, doing carbon copies, templates of my central nervous system, which is true. This is all real. It's all real. But with these ADs, which I call them Aekyads drawings, which is part of a tremendous amount of work, which has not been exhibited to date. Okay, people. Let's keep. I was excited. I'm this mischievous point to me when Fulvio told me that we have an early Aekyad video. I'm going to send it to you once it's did to you. Do a soundtrack if you want, and blah, blah, blah. I got very, very excited about that. And I said, look, I'm going to take advantage to talk about my new work. And I'm ready to do some exhibits, do some conferences. Come on, Murad and people, come to me. Let's talk about this. People, the critics, etc., museum directors, etc. We're going to do some exhibits soon, maybe for sure in October in London, but maybe some others will come up. But it's just all love. But, this is my new work. I'm not, because there's this weird thing happening because I'm sending them out it's not a big mailing, but a little mailing. And people are going back like they think I'm fantasizing about my past like it's over. It's not over. It's not going to be over. It's not over until they shut my lights off. I don't have the physical strength to actually make these works like I did in the past, but I do make these. We're talking about sculptures, okay? The sculptures, because now I have my team, which Fulvio helps out, and etc. with fabricators, and I can build exactly the work that comes out of my mind. It's like the same thing. It's not the same that I made it, but it doesn't mean it's better or worse. It has to exist. It has to exist because my thing is creating my space because I love the art history. I love art history, which my mother introduced me when I was very young to art history. And, my thing is sculpture. Of course, I had other periods. Any people that know my history, you know what my work is all about. And I had many, many different periods, okay? And you can like one period or another period, but the bottom line is more than anything, I'm a sculptor. No, that was my chosen. That's the cross that I carry as a metaphor for life, I'm not getting involved with religions, but let's say a metaphor for my existence. What I am is I'm a sculptor. And now I feel it more than anything because, when I was a young fellow, I was very strong physically, and now I don't have that strength. So sometimes it's frustrating that I don't have that strength, but my mind is strong, is strong. Don't worry, I'm going to keep producing until, that day when they shut my lights off, but it's no problem. Let's not get tragic or anything like that. I have a tremendous amount of new work. And for sure in October in London, these things will happen, and maybe some other places. Who knows? Let's get this thing going. Let's get this work out there because I have a lot to say. I still have a lot to say, and like I say, what can I tell you? I'm back. The Aekyads man is back on the block. I'm back on the block, and like I say, and don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it and read it because we have phones, my language which I developed, and then we have intervalism, and we have many other what could I say, other manifestations of an inquieto mind, a mind that has so much work to do, and for me it's más claro que el agua. It's clearer than water, and that's what it's all about. And here's what we have. And never forget this. Now with this video and with this work and this moment, we're talking about is dedicated of Aekyadism. Remember that Aekyadism is a language, and read it. Okay? Aekyadsism is a language. Read it. Yalla. God willing, we continue to produce.